Hello, hi there, Geminis. Do hope that you are well. Welcome to my channel. My name is Bella, and most people know me as the Secret Psychic. This is your love horoscope for November 2018. And welcome. Can you believe we're almost near the end of the year? It's scary how quick this year has gone. So, if you're watching me for the first time, how I operate is I'm a psychic, so I read the energies with the help of my spirit guides, and I give you a general overview so that you can navigate through this month as successfully as you can when it comes to your love life. Now, I never know until I really do this what my guides are going to say, but I just interpret what they say to give you the best information and advice to be helpful. All right. So, Gemini, the first thing they're saying about you guys is I get a lot of you kind of looking over your shoulder, looking backwards. Now, that can be a representation of some of you looking at somebody from your past. Actually quite heavily. There's a lot of you, my guides are saying, doing that. And kind of wanting it. Now, this could be that you're wanting something similar, maybe not wanting the person, but perhaps wanting something similar from them, from somebody that you was in that you don't seem to be getting now. So you're either single or the relationship you're in, you feel like you're missing out on something that you used to get either from them or from another person, or, which is the most strongest this is coming out, dear Geminis, is that you are wanting somebody else that you keep looking over your shoulder at. So you've had some kind of encounter with this other person that you are looking at a lot, to the point where anybody that you are dating or in a relationship in, they are noticing, because you seem to be stuck. That's the way it's been shown in the first week, sort of stuck, not knowing what you want to do, and it's coming out of you. So I think part of this reading is about having some self-awareness that it will be noticed if you are in that situation, and if you are because if you don't, it becomes apparent, basically, and that includes if you're dating somebody else. It will come out in terms of the questions that you ask somebody. You'll be asking questions that will be very reflective about your past relationship. They will be able to tell. But for those of you who are in a long-term relationship, or perhaps even waiting on somebody, if you're waiting on somebody, what my guides are recommending is that you probably should act on it, because there's nothing worse than wondering and asking yourself over and over and over, should I do something? November feels like it's quite apt that it is bothering you that much. You should take some action. But for those of you who this reading feels like it's mainly for, and sometimes this can happen, for those of you that are in a connection, first week, you literally can't stop thinking about this other person. Again, it could be that they're fairly new and you're considering either walking away or even considering having an affair. Do know that the other person in your life is very much noticing the change in your disposition, because you're coming across as not knowing whether to go right or going left. It feels very much that you seem to be coming up to a bit of a crossroads of making a decision about what you want to do. For the other person in your life, the one that is present, they will withdraw too. They seem to be coming across as being quite sullen, quite upset, concerned, wanting to know what they can or should do about this. Wanting to, sorry, my eye has decided it wants to be a little bit difficult through this reading. They seem to be keeping their cards close to their chest. They seem to just be a bit guarded. It feels also, particularly if you have children with this person, that they seem to want to also, they're considering what's happening also for the way that any decision that they think that you are making, or the distance that you seem to be creating, whether you're aware of it or not, they are aware of it because they see a difference in you, that they're starting to worry about that dynamics also too. So they're just noticing, and they're just becoming quite worried about it, basically, overall. My guides say you've got a decision to make, Gemini. You're either in it or you're out of it. They're not advocating necessarily that you should have an affair, because it feels to me that the other person, the one that's the main partner, would know almost straight away that if you tried to do that, they'd find out quite ridiculously quickly. So you have to, like, it's almost like the universe saying you have to choose. You're either in with this one and need to figure out why it is you're looking backwards, that maybe if there is something missing in that relationship that you had in the other one, because it could just be a representation, that you need to communicate it with them in order for them to be given a chance for you and them to work together to do that, basically. And particularly, I would say that becomes more important if you have children with them. Or, and I have to say, it comes up in the second or third week, seriously making the choice about whether you go backwards, you go back to somebody, or you take that risk on somebody that you once saw. You have to make a decision. You cannot have your cake and eat it, is what my guides are saying. Sorry. They're saying you cannot have your cake and eat it. That you have to choose left or right. There's no middle road. You can't take both routes. You have to take one. And I know that might seem a bit unfair and maybe even a little bit pressurized in this month. But if you don't, very similar to one, I can't remember what star sign it was, that if you don't, you end up losing both options, basically. Because there's something about the past one that if you take too long, you'd lose them anyway. Or if you tried to do a two-way thing, like I said, everybody would figure it out and you'd lose out. You have to make a choice. It feels like it's not easy because I feel here it's an emotional pull on you. You really don't know what to do. And hopefully this reading will help you sort of, because I think it's a growth. It's been shown like a growth thing for you in terms of really being authentic in this, really digging deep and figuring it out. You know, I think for some of you, there's a fear that if you do go backwards, what happens if they reject you, or it ends up being worse? There's things you can do to try to minimize that by answering questions. Again, it's about communication, even with the past person, to figure that out. But do it sooner rather than later. Don't play the guessing game. Do the communication game, my guides are saying, with one or both parties so that you can figure it out, so that you can do that quicker rather than later. Because I guess at the end of the day, you end up with one of them if you do communicate, and also you get what it is that you think that is missing, that's made you look backwards. You either get that person back, or you get to inject it into the relationship that's before you. I think here with the one, if your choice is your present one, and it's because there's something missing, and because they have noticed, I think there is some damage control or damage repairing that does definitely need to be done. One with communication, one with answering, and one with just them answering you questions about why things have gone funny. You can either be honest about it, or you just have to do some damage control, basically. But you can control it if you've made a choice, a firm choice. Then as you get to the end of the month, it feels like a very compact month. Like it's, I know like a month can seem quite short, but sometimes in some situations it can actually be quite a long month. And it feels for you guys that that's how it feels, like a long month with lots of decisions to make. But I guess no matter what choice, as you get to the end of the month, I get you feeling happy to romantically move something forward and feeling positive about it and not dejected. And the only time, Geminis, you would feel at the end of the month sorry for yourselves is if you didn't heed this advice and tried to do the middle road and tried to have two at once. If you do that, then at the end of the month you there's a loss. And my guides want you to avoid that because they want the best for you, basically. So some decisions, it seems, Geminis, you have to make this month. Split decision. Which road will you take? Think about it, consider it, think about what's best for you, be authentic, and then jump right in. But certainly don't try to have your cake and eat it. I hope that's been helpful. Don't shoot the messenger. Because I know that was a little bit like, I don't know, just felt a little bit hard to hear maybe, but I hope that's been helpful, Geminis. I will be back next month with some more guidance, and I hope that's been helpful. If you like a private reading, perhaps this has resonated for you. If you'd like to dig more into your own personal circumstances, the links are just down below. I will be back next month with the last reading of the year, and I'll see you then. Have a fabulous month, Geminis, no matter what it is you choose. Take care. Bye bye.